We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much. I love you all.
Oh, you sultry horse. Don't you think it's so grand?
Yes.
Fucking winning every goddamn hour of goddamn day, and we're sitting here and just bathing in the fucking excellence that it is. Oh my god. No, dude, honestly, at this point in time, I don't think I can get enough of winning. Like, honestly speaking, I'm going to end up having a goddamn cornea from the amount of fucking ribeyes I'm being handed. Like, I'm just gonna take one out of Tom's fucking page here. Like, it feels like I'm eating steak every single fucking day because it's like, nah, dude, this is fucking great. Like, keep it fucking going. Fucking Doge just hit the IRS today.
Yep.
So, we're looking at the next couple of days are gonna be the fucking IRS's dirty laundry getting fucking flown for everybody to fucking see. It's gonna be fucking great.
Oh yeah. It's as Trump said in the beginning of his first term, we're going to get tired of winning. Well, I'm not tired of winning yet. But we may, if it continues at this pace, we may actually at some point get tired of all the winning.
Yeah, no, it'll be like the fourth year. We're all just fucking in a food coma from the amount of steak we've eaten from all the victories. And we're just like, nah, bro. I'm good. I need to go on a diet.
That's pretty huge.
Oh, wait. At that point in time, we're eating carnivore. Never mind. We don't need the diet.
Yeah. The only ones who will be going on a diet are the fucking Europeans. And it won't be of their own choice. It'll be by necessity.
At least they'll be skinny legends.
So real shit real quick, though. Have you seen the epic fucking, like, just level of cope that the Ukrainians are having right now?
Yes.
And it's funny because the Europeans notice something in particular. Olaf Scholz didn't say shit about the U.S. It was the German defense minister, which, if I remember correctly, the German defense minister is with the SPD, which I think is the same party as Olaf Scholz. But the key difference is that, if I remember correctly, Olaf Scholz and this guy do not like each other.
They don't?
I'm pretty sure him and this guy do not get along whatsoever.
Are they of the same party, or are they different parties?
I believe they're the same party. I could be wrong, but I believe they're of the same party. But, like, the fact that Olaf Scholz has not come out whatsoever and said anything, in my mind, confirms what I believed was going on, is that the German government at this point in time is like, nah, we're fucking done. We're fucking over this bullshit.
So
and the Brits and the French are losing their collective shit so hard that it's just it's so delicious.
So the only thing that Scholz did say on this so far, I saw like an hour or two ago. He said they're declaring a state of emergency over what Trump said, and
so he did make a statement. Okay.
Yes, and for the little bit of reading I saw all that really means is they're now able to borrow more money than they'd normally be allowed. They're able to go into more debt than they'd normally be allowed to go into if they weren't in a state of emergency.
Okay, so what that sounds like is that Olaf Scholz is still pimping himself out to the French. But hey, you know what's new? Well,
Yeah.
and let's be fair. Let's be fair. Olaf Scholz, you know, he probably loves being Emmanuel Macron's bottom. He probably just loves it. So you know, it is what it is. But what makes this all so fucking delicious is the fact that Trump hit them with the fucking counteroffer, saying, "Oh yeah, no, we'll give you aid and shit, but you have to pay us back for it."
Yeah.
And mind you, the $500 billion that he said, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, that's repayment for what we've given them already, and then on top of that, it's payment for shit going forward. And the Russians probably looked at that and were like, well, at least they're being smart about it now. So yeah, no, it's just fucking phenomenal. And I love there was this one dude posting, he was like, I hope the world's people, you know, reject Russians from their restaurants and from their bars and from their cafes, and don't allow them to sit with you and yada. And my only response was, Ruskies will always be welcome at my bar. Fuck you.
I saw that one too. That was that was just ridiculous. And
it reveals what this is all about. It's just anti-Russian in its entirety. It's just we hate Russians, and we want Russians to go away and stop existing, and that's all that it is. It's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if you hear traffic in the background. I'm currently outside hanging my vape, so if you hear traffic, I do apologize.
No worries. Haven't heard anything yet.
Okay, cool. These headphones apparently are fucking fantastic.
Excellent. And yeah, just the sheer amount of coke from the fucking, well, either from the Ukraine flag profile accounts on Twitter or fucking what's left of NAFO, because you know not much of NAFO is left after.
No. Real quick. They came out of the woodwork on this one. I've been seeing them all over the place. Now, some of the bigger accounts, they're gone. Like, some of the really big accounts, I have not seen them whatsoever. But the other NAFO accounts that are, like, European-centric, oh, yeah, they're still there. So, clearly, it's like, okay, so there was a lot of core big NAFO accounts that were being paid off by USAID, and then the rest of them are being paid off by MI6. That's clear. That's clearly what is going on at this point in time. The MI6 assets are still in play, whereas the USAID funded CIA assets are not in play anymore. Which, you know, it really makes you wonder, where was that $500 billion in unauthorized funds being used? You know, was a portion of it going to paying NAFO?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of what, did you see that recently Zelensky claimed that something like $100 billion of the aid that was sent to Ukraine, he has no idea where it went? Apparently just vanished?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing about Zelensky, so apparently, now I haven't been able to confirm this yet because I just saw it literally like a half an hour ago, and I've been on the phone with Poe, so I haven't been able to confirm it yet. But I saw that basically at this point in time, Vance and Hegseth are supposed to go to Ukraine to basically tell Zelensky what the fuck is going to happen, and he's just going to have to suck it up. And then another delegation, which I believe Trump is going to lead, I have a good feeling that Trump will actually lead it, is going to go to Moscow to talk directly to the Russians. So
why do I have a feeling that Zelensky is going to end up having a rather unfortunate accident by the end of the month?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because that would be bad for both sides. Yeah. Because our side propped him up too much, and then the other side, they don't want the bad publicity of him dying, because then the Europeans will just blame it on the Russians,
Right.
and the CIA, even with how corrupt they are, they propped him up too much,
So
and so it's bad business for both sides.
So you don't think he's gonna say slip and fall directly onto a bayonet up the ass like a certain other
Nah,
former U.S. ally?
no, I believe he will comfortably retire to Miami. I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Of course.
Oh, by the way, which state is our now Secretary of State originally from?
Florida.
Just
Yeah.
just saying. Where does Zelensky own several very nice houses? Miami. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think Zelensky will end up getting pulled out. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that Zelensky just leaves with Vance and fucking Hegseth, because then what do the Banderites do? The Banderites attack Vance and Hegseth and their security detail. Oh yeah, of course that's gonna go over real well. Then U.S. troops are marching into Ukraine, fucking looking for blood. Like oh yeah, that'll go over real well.
Yeah. You think they're
Wait.
deranged enough to do that?
Oh, they're not that stupid, because they know damn well that as soon as they do that, then their little covens of people here in the U.S. are gonna get the good old FBI visit.
Can you
Well,
say that
not-
again, please?
The covens of or the enclaves of Banderites here in the United States are going to get a visit from the FBI if they try to attack Vance and Hegseth. If Zelensky is like, hey, can I come with you? I would like to leave, please.
So we have enclaves of those people in the U.S. as well?
Oh yeah, there's one. There's one here in Ohio. It's not as big, but I do know that some of them are present here in Ohio, in North Royalton, which is a suburb of Cleveland. And then there's a town that basically the Banderites took over in New York.
Really?
Like basically the entire population was pushed. The entire native population was pushed out by the Ukrainians over time, and they have a park in that town where they literally erected a statue honoring Stepan Bandera.
Really?
Like,
Wow.
like it's a full on, like there's a quote unquote summer camp there that you actually look into it a little bit and you realize it's an initiation camp for the different Bandera battalions in Ukraine. Like a lot of the kids that go through that summer camp, they literally are being basically conditioned to then go back to Ukraine and wage war. Like that's literally what's happening. So yeah, no, there's a decent number of them here in the U.S. The majority of them are probably going to remain in Europe, in Ukraine, because they want to maintain their claim on Lvov, because Lvov is, per my understanding, Lvov is this really weird prize for them, because Lvov historically, even though it's a Polish city, because it's built on Galician land, they view it as like the capital of their movement. So the majority of them will probably reside in Lvov full bore, but yeah, there's a significant population of them here in the U.S. So get ready for some domestic terrorism, boys, because they're gonna do it. Like look at what's going on with the fucking cartels already. The cartels are already trying to fucking pull shit on the border because we're starting to tie the noose around their necks.
Yeah.
Speaking of border shit, real quick, just to kind of segue over to that. Have you guys seen the videos that Justin Trudeau has been putting out?
No.
Oh, he has been pushing all the clips of the forces that they're mobilizing to start patrolling the border and policing the border and whatnot. So he is trying desperately to save himself.
Yeah.
He is trying desperately. Like, he is putting out all the fucking PR that he can. Like, yeah, I'm doing something. I'm absolutely doing something. So,
Do you think this is PR meant for the average person, or is it PR meant to try to convince Trump to not tariff him at the end of the month?
a little bit of both, because I think what he's trying to do is trying to rebuild some of his support base in Canada, and then also trying to politically provide cover against Trump, because politically speaking, he's fucked on all levels. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Honestly
No
speaking,
worries.
just cut that portion out. I
Yeah.
needed to call in real quick.
No worries.
But yeah, so we're looking at I'd say probably within the next year we're gonna see a radical shift in the current condition of the world. Let's just say that a year from now things are gonna be radically fucking different. And it's gonna be, mwah, I love it. Maybe the Europeans will actually learn that, hey, actually, yeah, you have to be concerned about your own security, because fuck you, we're not doing it anymore.
I don't know if that's a population capable of learning or growth.
In more ways than one.
Yes.
Actually, wasn't there just another big stabbing attack over there?
Yeah, there was.
Of course there was. I thought I heard
there was also a trucking attack
Oh, of course.
in Germany.
Truck of peace.
Yes, the truck of peace. Or
The
to
truck
put
of
it,
Seriously, they use
oh,
the Second Amendment like we do.
yes, or to put it in words maybe some of the more weeaboo fans of the show might understand, Truck-kun. Truck-kun is real.
Truck-kun.
Truck-kun is real, and all those people are going off to some other world.
Well, I'm glad that I'm normal and I don't know what the fuck that is.
Good.
Hey, you're just a basic bitch. We get it.
And you're with the basic bitch. So what does that say to you? Normie?
Okay, cool. Whatever. Anyways.
You're pretty normie in comparison to me, I'm just saying.
But no, it's one of those fun little things where I'm just like, every time I hear about these stabbing attacks, these truck attacks, so on and so forth, I'm just like, are you just gonna keep taking this? Like, is that literally just the plan? Like, you think you can just outweight this shit? Like, is this what's going on? Like, I have gotten to the point where I am personally just like, okay, I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. I don't want to hear a European complain about it whatsoever. Because fuck it. If you want to keep letting it happen to you, go the fuck ahead. Keep that shit over there and suffer, bitch. Suffer.
Yes. I have heard a grand total of far too many European opinions for this lifetime, and many more.
Well, hey, let's just hope that the Quebecois can understand that, hey, Europe is not good, and they shouldn't secede from Canada just to join France again.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing to be part of France.
No, if Quebec seceded, it would not want to be part of France. France is too anglicized for Quebec. And if you're from Quebec, you'll know what I'm talking about, and if you're not from Quebec, you'll be like, what the fuck is this person talking about? France is too anglicized. It is.
Hold on. I'm pulling something up real quick because there was some. Oh, fuck off, you stupid bastards. Oh, let's talk about Elon Musk a little bit. I had to remind myself, like, who else was I wanting to talk about? Let's talk about Elon Musk a little bit. So yesterday, me and Poe ended up joining a fucking space. And this guy, basically he's like, I'm not part of the cult of Elon, and I just don't fucking understand, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't understand why people are okay with his kid being there and yada, yada. I mean, just all the normal fucking bullshit. Let me just point this out to people. just as a little aside, I would love to work in an industry, and I mean love to work in an industry or in a position where I could literally have my fucking toddler just hanging out with me, fucking on the side, coloring or whatever, so he could be exposed to the shit that I do. Like, I would just I'd love to be in that kind of position. Period. In the story. Now, in my current industry, no. That's not happening because the chances
Risk
of
of
some
being
shit.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a safe environment.
Yeah, it's a totally different fucking environment. So yeah, no, definitely. But the fact that people, hey, what's up, Doc?
Ahoy.
Howdy, my.
What's up, Doc?
Jesus.
I'm surprised
I
no one
Hello.
said that joke.
Hello, Bugs Bunny. How are you doing?
I
So,
am,
what
in
good
a
news-
relationship with this motherfucker.
What good news do we have today? I heard the Eurofacts are reading. So what's up with
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh,
there's
well,
something.
yeah, because Trump's slapped his dick on the table and said, "Suck it, bitches."
Hot.
Is this basically the beginning of a American Euro split? Because I fucking love that shit so
Yes.
much.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Nice.
Because our foreign policy is not tethered to the British anymore. We no longer have the Europhiles in charge. And mind you, Trump is no anti-Europhile. He is no anti, oh, fuck the British. No, he's not that guy whatsoever. JD Vance might be because, his wife, I can only imagine what his wife's opinion of the British is. But the fact of the matter is that, Trump is telling the Europeans, like, look, you know what? We're done with your bullshit. And across the board, what we're seeing is a very, very needed split between Europe and the New World. Because the New World is not, like, I hate when people are like, oh, the Western world has fallen. The United States is abandoning the Western world, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we're not part of the Western world. Fuck the Western world. We're the fucking frontier. We're the explorers and the frontiersmen of the world. There's a reason why we have managed to actually come out from under the bullshit of our history and actually pave a greater fucking path for fucking everybody in this nation, rather than the bullshit you have over in Europe, where you still have the Germans and French trying to kill each other. You still have the Brits trying to fucking genocide the Russians. You have the fucking, the Italians are sitting there trying to figure out how to rebuild the fucking Roman Empire. And the Spanish are just too busy getting too drunk to fucking understand what the hell's going on. Like we got better things to fucking do with our lives.
You could say a lot of things about Iberians, but having a good work ethic is not one of them.
Oh, not at all. Shit. But no, but that's the whole fucking point, is that, at this juncture, after the LIBOR-SOFR debacle for the Europeans desperately needed to fucking shore up their fucking balance sheet. They realized that their balance sheet is too over fucking extended. The national debt, people keep railing about the national debt, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, people keep trying to say, oh, but China owns us because of our national debt. I'm like, motherfucker, they own less than 800 fucking billion of it. Like, tell me how that's ownership. Please explain that somehow, even though the fucking Europeans collectively, if you take the whole EU, collectively, they own about 1.7 trillion of our debt. So I wonder I wonder where the actual ownership was. Oh, wait, we've disconnected from them via SOFR, and then we've also fucking screwed them because Janet Yellen's no longer writing short-term debt for them anymore. So now they don't have cheap dollars that they can rely on to prop up their fucking welfare states. So I'm sitting here and I'm having a great fucking time. Break out the fucking whiskey and cigars, boys. We're gonna have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know. Everybody might be like, oh, don't count your chickens until they hatch. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I've got a half a dozen fucking chickens hatched so far, and the other 6 are looking mighty fine as well. So I don't care. Fuck it.
Yeah. In other good news, both Tulsi and RFK Jr. were just confirmed.
Oh yes, I completely glossed over that.
Unlike with Pete Hegseth, only a single defection from the fucking turtle himself, Mitch McConnell.
Oh yep, Mitch. Mitch, and you know what that is, right? That was Mitch's last gasp of trying to remain politically relevant. But at this point in time, everybody is like, no, go away.
Yeah.
Like, take your wheelchair-bound ass and leave. Like, that's what's happening right now. So, but yeah, and speaking of Tulsi Gabbard, the fucking reeing from the Eurofags.
That was also pretty great.
Bro, they were fucking, like, they're like, oh, this ends Five Eyes. And,
no, it doesn't.
Oh, now every time something comes onto Tulsi's desk, she's going to call up Putin and tell him everything and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And it's like, oh my fucking God. Like, you people, like, and I do laugh because, like, you know that, what's his name? Evan Worf or whatever the fuck his name is. You know who I'm talking about.
I do, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But he's like, oh, I'm at this point in time, I'm pretty sure that 95% of Russiagate was true. And it's like, brother, I am sorry, but if you're still going to try to use Russiagate as a fucking, like, attack vector, you are fucking 8 years behind the fucking curve at this point in time, bud. At this point in time, you might need to go to remedial class, and maybe, just maybe, we need to put you in the special ed program. So,
Argo, I don't think that it's a scam. Something about
hey, Doc.
You're checking and
Yeah, what's up?
We can hear your dad in the background, I think.
Yeah, he's an asshole. I know.
It's all good. I just wanted to give you a heads up. But yeah, no. So we're with Tulsi Gabbard. Like, first off, now I want to just point out, everybody was like, "Oh, is this too big of a position for her to fill?" And you notice how Tulsi Gabbard, she has an air of confidence of her that I think kind of gives away that maybe, just maybe, this was the plan from the beginning. Because I think the whole point of putting her as DNI was literally to piss off everybody. Yes. I think it was literally meant to just piss off everyone. Because, like, the talking about Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, I think that was literally to piss off everybody. And the thing with Matt Gaetz, now Matt Gaetz' court case and everything, all that bullshit, like, I've gone over it before. It's all hogwash. And at the end of the day, when a dude falsifies government documents to show that somebody is older and everything's legit on the document, in this case, the chick's ID, I'm sorry. I'm not going to bash on the guy for banging a 17-year-old. I'm not going to. I don't care who you are. Fuck off.
Wasn't there even not even a court case because there wasn't even enough evidence to go to trial?
Well, no. So well, yes,
like,
you are correct. There was a court case
for his friend, but there wasn't one.
There was
for
the
him.
Senate. There was the Senate inquiry into it, and they found that given the fact that Florida hasn't prosecuted you, we can't do anything because you did nothing wrong. Like, yes, technically speaking, you did something quote unquote wrong, but it was without your knowledge. Right. And that's the thing is if you never intended to commit a crime and given the circumstances you thought you were doing something legitimate, you can't commit a crime. Yes. There's no crime to be committed. Period. End of story. So I'm sorry. I give the guy a full fucking pass. But the point is because of all the air around him in regards to that Senate inquiry, they used him as bait and then fucking threw in everybody else and just said, haha, fuck you. and it's fucking delicious. It's all just golden brown and just fucking. It's just flaky in your mouth. Like it's a fucking apple pie, and I'm gonna eat like 10 of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Can I get some ice cream on the side, by the way? Like, seriously.
You want it a la mode?
Always.
Very good. Yeah. Now, so far, the only nominee left to confirm is Kash Patel, and apparently the assholes in the Senate have moved that to like late next week because they want to go vacation in Munich for a few days. And
well, so here's the fun thing about Kash Patel. Mm-hmm. Do you know why they're trying to delay Kash Patel as hard as they can?
I'd assume
because
go for it.
Yeah, it's because they're trying to give enough time for the fuckheads that need to get the hell out of the country to get out of the country. That's why they're delaying Kash Patel as long as possible. They're trying to clean house of all the agents that are going to get fucking rang up on charges. They're trying to clean house before Kash Patel gets in there so that, you know, the lack of testimony will save people. Yeah. Like, that's what's going on.
Did you hear about how over the last like couple weeks this Google search results in DC for defense attorney have just skyrocketed?
Yeah, I did see that actually.
I wonder why.
Well, and mind you, like, Trump just put out the order to fire all probationary employees.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, like, the house cleaning is going to fucking happen across the fucking board anyways. Like, I'm actually half tempted to go federal at this point just because I know I'm going to be able to get in pretty easily. So it's like, fuck it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care at this point.
My
girlfriend aside on this.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
What do you mean by going federal?
Oh, getting into federal law enforcement. I was interested in going Border Patrol a couple years ago, and I'm kind of like, I could actually be tempted to do that again.
Yes. Deport some Mexicans.
No, that's ICE. That's ICE. That's different. Hey, you know what? Fuck it. I'll join ICE. Fuck it.
What is
work under Christie? No.
Does Border Patrol just kind of stand at the border and like keep people like? What does Border Patrol do then? Besides
Border Patrol they're the guys that handle the border directly. So ICE operates within the country freely, and then Border Patrol is basically jurisdictionally locked to the border to a degree. So.
Right. So you'd just be denying Mexicans entry.
Yes.
Also good. Also fun.
And getting into firefights with the cartel. But hey, at that point in time, I have the option of potentially having a belt fed. So at that point in time, it's like,
yeah,
get some.
Shooting cartel members for fun and profit sounds very enjoyable.
Oh, no. People might call me a madman, and I'm like, yes, I am. I start getting shot at, and I smile. It's like, yay, fun. I might be a bit of a psychopath. I don't know. But yeah, no. And then in regards to RFK, you know, of course, RFK. We all know what his first fucking stop is gonna be as secretary. He's gonna walk into the FDA and be like, "I'm here to fire fucking all of you."
Yep.
Like, the FDA is gonna get gutted. USDA is probably gonna get gutted. Fucking dude, it's going to be a fucking bloodbath, and it's just gonna be so good. It's just gonna be. Mwah. Actually, that raises the question. If the USDA ends up getting fucking taken apart bit by bit and just fucking basically made irrelevant on a political level, I wonder what that does for Amos Miller and the other Amish farmers that are being harassed here in Ohio and over in Pennsylvania. I wonder what that does at that point.
Are those the ones who are being harassed for selling whole milk or raw milk?
Yep. Yep. Well, they're being harassed for just basically existing because, like, over in Pennsylvania, there was a memo, if I remember correctly, there was a memo that got leaked that basically revealed that the state was basically trying to confiscate their land and shit too. So, and then here in Ohio, I can only guess what with how corrupt Columbus is. Like, what we need is, honestly speaking, like, I would love to see Vivek Ramaswamy, because everything. Did you see the Sean Ryan podcast with Vivek that he just did?
Oh, he did another one. I only saw the first one he did. I didn't know he did another one.
Yeah, he just did another one like this past week. And he has basically, I called it. Vivek Ramaswamy is going to run for governor.
Right.
That's why he stepped away from Doge. Because he's like, I can't be here doing this. I need to go back and get set up to run against whoever is running in the Republican primary in Ohio. So
doesn't want it to be another DeWine.
Huh?
He doesn't want it to be another DeWine.
Oh, don't get me started on
maybe
DeWine.
DeWine's cousin or brother or I don't know, other family member.
Well, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Patrick tried to make a play for it.
Is that his brother?
Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that's his brother. He's currently on the Supreme Court.
Of course.
So honestly speaking, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that the plan is Mike leaves the governor's office, Patrick slots in as governor, and then Mike goes and sits on the Supreme Court. Wouldn't be fucking surprised whatsoever. But hopefully we'll be able to stop that. Because I want to gut the DeWine dynasty completely.
Are the people of Ohio just, like, okay with this obvious nepotism, or what? Like,
no, nobody's okay with it. The problem is, so the guy who ran against Pat DeWine was a schlep, and nobody fucking liked him. And so Pat DeWine was a shoo-in, because it's like, okay, better the devil we know than this fucking retard. And then in the case of the governorship, Renassi, the problem with Renassi is Renassi is, he's a dickhead. Like, nobody really likes him. And so even though he got a decent chunk of the vote, it was the anti-DeWine vote that was voting for him. But at the same time, it was like across the primary, like, literally people were like, no, we don't want to vote for DeWine, so we're going to vote for somebody else. And so Renassi picked up like 30% of the vote. Blystone picked up like 20% of the vote. But then that left the rest of the vote to DeWine within the party. And so DeWine got the nomination. But had Blystone, and this is, personally, I think this is what fucking killed it, is I think Blystone should have thrown behind Renassi and been like, okay, I'm going to be your lieutenant governor. I think, but the problem is Blystone, because Blystone comes from a part of Ohio, it's Columbiana County. He comes from a part of Ohio that fucking despises Columbus through and through. And so and because Renassi comes from Wadsworth, so that's, I believe that's Medina County. I want to say that's Medina County. It might be a different county. I don't remember. But the point is that that's basically you have the Northeast Ohio vote versus the rest of the state. Because I know for a fact that the majority of the people that I talked to, which was a decent chunk of people because I was trying to feel out what people were voting for, basically it was an even split between Renassi and Blystone. Like, very few people actually wanted to vote for DeWine.
Are the DeWines creatures of Columbus?
Huh?
Is the DeWine family a creature of Columbus?
Yeah, they're a Columbus. They're a Columbus political family. Yeah, they're part of the Columbus political machine, through and through.
Right.
If I remember correctly, their father was either a senator or a rep back in the day. Here in Ohio, they don't do national politics. They only do Ohio politics. So their father, if I remember correctly, was either a senator or a rep. And then And then slowly but surely they continue building up until Mike took the governorship, which Mike DeWine, all he had to do, like seriously, like across the board, all Mike DeWine had to do was continue doing what John Kasich was doing. Just had to keep doing what Kasich was doing. Kasich left DeWine in the best fucking possible position, and then DeWine had to just cock up COVID as badly as he did, and it's just like, oh, well, good job, bud.
So
good job.
You mentioned Kasich, and I'm curious about that because I only remember Kasich from being like the worst in the 2016 primary. What was he like as a governor? Was he not as much of a sack of shit as he was in the 2016 primary?
Well, okay, so here's the thing: is the problem with Kasich is that he just doesn't know when to shut his fucking mouth. He's kind of like Trump, where he doesn't know how to shut his mouth, but Trump can at least back his shit up, whereas Kasich can't. And the problem is that Kasich came in after Ted Strickland, and Ted Strickland was a fucking abysmal governor. The dude nearly destroyed this state. Like, honestly speaking, if Ted Strickland had actually had the opportunity to fully gut the state, he would have taken it. It was only through the machinations of Kasich, because, like, for example, you know, getting Goodyear to stay in Ohio, getting Rubbermaid to stay in Ohio, you know, trying to get Lordstown back up and running, trying to do a bunch of different stuff down in Cincinnati and a few other places. You know, if it wasn't for Kasich, this state would be fucking in the gutter. So, it's actually really funny. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
What did that other guy do to screw up Ohio so much?
Oh, Ted Strickland?
Yeah, what did he do?
He fucking raised taxes during 2008. He raised taxes.
Interesting choice.
Raised income taxes, raised business taxes, raised property taxes. Like he pushed a whole tax increase policy that gutted the state. Like, companies were shutting down left, right, and sideways. Fucking people were moving out of the state. You know, the state was destitute during that time period. Like, under Ted Strickland, I saw the state, like, I was young at the time, so I didn't, like, truly understand. But now that I have the I have the context of my older self, and I actually know what the shit was going on then, I'm like, holy fuck. Like, the state nearly died under Ted Strickland. Like, what was funny, Ted Strickland and his whole administration basically got ran out of the state. Like, Ted Strickland does not live in Ohio anymore, per last time I checked.
Oh, wow.
He does not live in Ohio anymore because he basically had a fucking target on his back. Like, if somebody could have taken a pot shot at him, they would have.
Oh, so it was that bad by the end of his tenure. Like, he was hated.
Yeah. Now, what was funny, and what got DeWine, and this is the really fucked up part about it, because I think this was planned by the DeWines, because the DeWines aren't liked in the state either. Mm-hmm. But because I don't remember his name, unfortunately, and I just can't, I hate not being able to remember this little douchebag's fucking name. But the former treasurer of the state under Ted Strickland ran against DeWine in his first term, which automatically sealed the deal for DeWine.
Right.
Because nobody wanted anybody affiliated with Ted Strickland's fucking administration as governor. And so it was an automatic shoo-in for Mike DeWine, period, in the story. Like, he won, I think it was like 60% of the vote, and then he won by another 62% or something like that in his second term. So the dude is not liked whatsoever, but it's, again, the devil we know versus these fucking chumps over here. Like, that's literally been Ohio's policy when it comes to voting for people. Again, the problem is like in the primary last time, Renassi, nobody fucking likes him because he's a fucking dickhead.
Mhm.
And then Blystone is great. The problem is that he doesn't appeal to the cosmopolitan crowd because he's a farmer. And that was kind of the appeal that I had when it came to Blystone, was the fact that the dude literally runs an agricultural school. The dude teaches people how to be better farmers and better ranchers. Like that's his whole shtick. And that was the only reason why Blystone only pulled 20% of the vote, because he pulled majority. Like if you actually look at the breakdowns, Blystone pulled all the rural counties. But the problem is that without some of the cities, Blystone couldn't get over the fucking hump. Because if Blystone had been able to take, say, 30% of the vote, then I don't know if Ohio has runoffs, but I believe we do. I just don't remember if we do or not. I'm pretty sure we do. But it could have, if we do have runoff elections, if Blystone had gotten more of the vote, it probably would have caused a runoff election, which could have possibly put us in a situation where it would have forced people to choose between Renassi and DeWine. And honestly speaking, I think Renassi probably would have won. And Renassi would have won the general election because people are like, no, fuck Democrats. Not happening. Like, you notice, if you look at Ohio, you'll notice very quickly the Democrats only win in the cities. Period. End of story. They only win in the cities.
Yeah. Well, that's not just a thing in Ohio. That seems ubiquitous to like the whole country. They only ever win in cities.
That's the thing though, is that with Ohio and the politics in general here, you really have to, again, like the voter roll cleanup that we've just engaged in here in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like to see what happens with the next election. Because I want to see a potential that, 65, 70% of the state votes Republican at that point in time. And it basically confirmed what I thought was going on, where it's like, oh, the Columbus Democrats were, fishing the barrel very, very hard in order to fucking find ballots.
That's what they do.
So, oh yeah, absolutely. Shit, look at fucking Maricopa County. I'm just,
Yep.
I don't care. I don't care what you have to fucking say at this point in time. Maricopa County is the greatest example of it.
Yep.
But yeah, so, to get back to Ramaswamy has effectively confirmed, yes, I'm going to be running for governor. And on top of that, the simple fact that, I look at and I listen to people, and across the board, like a lot of people, like, oh, we won't vote for Ramaswamy because he's an Indian and shit like that. Here in Ohio, people are like, yeah, we'll vote for fuck you. We didn't want him to be president because we wanted his ass. Fuck you.
Right.
Fucking New Hampshire can go suck a dick.
Yes.
If you understand why I'm referring to New Hampshire, +1.
Wait, I actually don't. Did New Hampshire?
Oh, 9mm SMG.
He's from New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Oh. Actually, not surprising when I think about it. Though I thought he would have been from somewhere like Texas or somewhere much redder.
No, he pure. Have you not seen him go on his whole demographic spiel bullshit?
I think I've seen some of that.
No, he moved to New Hampshire. I don't know where he's originally from, but he straight up says, I moved to New Hampshire because I wanted to be around more white people. Like, that's his whole shtick.
Fair enough.
Which it's like, okay, more power to you, bud. But I don't care what you have to say up in New Hampshire. Fuck you. Ohio wants Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
And what's going to be funny about Ramaswamy running is he's basically potentially setting it up for Ohio actually potentially catapulting across the board. Because, and this plays into the national level politics as well, because with the gutting of the Department of Education, with the gutting of the FDA, gutting of the USDA, the gutting of fucking all these different regulatory burdens. You know, Ohio has a shit ton of oil and gas we can't fucking extract because of fucking federal bullshit. We have a shit ton of fucking agricultural stuff that if we can stop fucking feeding into the USDA pipeline, you know, we could potentially actually see a fucking huge increase in the income of farmers across the board and ranchers. And then on top of that, then you carry with the education reforms and so on and so forth. Ohio could, you know, be top 20 by the end of 2 terms of Ramaswamy. The potential is fucking massive. And especially if the deregulation continues, if Vance gets in as president after Trump, the deregulation regime continues, then Ohio's fucking sick. Especially as the steel industry returns, because then at that point in time, you know, Strasbourg, you know, I love you, Strasbourg, but you're not the only ones producing steel anymore. But yeah, no, and hell, it could see the complete revival of Lordstown too, which is, you know, locally speaking, because Lordstown's only like 15, 20 minutes away from where I'm at, that could potentially see a massive fucking boon for the general area as well.
What is Lordstown?
Oh, Lordstown Motors.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a old car plant here in Ohio. I forget who. It's an electric car company that Oh yeah, Lordstown Motors. They literally took up the name, but they're heavily focused on EVs, and I'm like, no, stop with EVs. The EVs are not what you want to be in. Period. End of fucking story. Start producing domestic combustion engine cars and fucking compete with fucking Toyota and fucking Honda. Like, I will literally sell my Toyota to buy a Lordstown fucking car if it's a fucking gas engine. No, that's the fucked up part. Is like these people, they don't fucking understand. Like, no, people don't want EVs. They don't at all. Like, and this was something that a guy pointed out in that, you know how I referenced that space earlier?
Yeah.
About Elon Musk. One of the guys in there, you know, he brought it up, and it's a very valid point to talk about, you know, Elon Musk as a whole. Tesla is not a car company. Everybody assumes it's a car company because they make cars. But the cars themselves, what are they supposed to be? Let me see if you get this, Dale.
Like,
they're meant to be robots.
So you mean like the driverless cars, for example?
Well, remember, all their cars are supposed to be driverless. And that's the whole point, is Tesla is not a car company, it's a robotics company at its heart.
Right.
And I think that's going to play a big deal in people realizing that EVs are not the future. Hell, there's not enough, unless we start exploiting the copper the tundra copper deposits up in Alaska. There are not nearly anywhere close to the amount of copper needed in order to run the transmission lines in order to actually be able to fucking put up the infrastructure to actually run the country on EVs. It's just not fucking possible.
That, and also, where are you going to get enough lithium for all the fucking lithium-ion batteries, like, that are needed? I don't think there's enough lithium either.
If Biden had, or let me rephrase, if the Biden administration, not Biden himself, but the Biden administration, if they had their way about it, they would have been getting it from Appalachia.
Is there a lot of lithium in Appalachia?
Yeah, in a little area called North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee and shit like that. Oh yeah, there's a shit ton of lithium in those zones. But
wouldn't that have been then a good thing? Because more, jobs in that area, lithium mining and such.
Well, no. The point is that they would have been running people off their land. which I still believe that was one of the main precursors of why the response to Hurricane Helene was so bad, is that they were trying to run people off their land and shit.
Makes sense.
Which, fuck it, whatever. At this point in time, it's fucking water under the bridge because Biden's admin fucking got gutted like it did. Yeah. Hell, I haven't heard about Anthony Blinken and Tony Sullivan in fucking weeks at this point in time.
Who?
Those two probably fucking fled the country at this point.
Probably. Lots of people are probably gonna flee the country.
Hold on. Stoner posted something real quick.
Yeah. He said even the mechs in his fan fiction are either diesel powered or diesel electric or propane. Propane powered mechs.
Diesel electric makes more sense overall. Propane doesn't carry enough energy to actually be able to be feasible for that.
Propane powered.
Now,
is that like if Hank Hill was a weeaboo?
No. See, propane is a fun energy source because it is actually quite good, but it's good in specific settings. Like to heat your home, for example, it's a great fucking energy source. But to run a car or something like that, it doesn't carry enough energy.
Oh.
Yeah, diesel electric that makes perfect sense. Which, to be frank, like if you were to build mechs in the modern era right now, yeah, they would be diesel electric. Like that's just how it would be because we don't have nuclear reactors small enough to fit in a package that big. Which, to be frank, if you were to build mechs in the modern day, they would kind of be. What would they be analogous to? You know, fucking. You know the ATTE from Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Like think that's what a mech would be in the modern context. It wouldn't be like something like out of Mech Warrior, for example.
Right.
But you know, the point is that you know, if this whole regime continues going the way it's going, and we actually see the mass deregulation, which we're already seeing the mass deregulation. Hell, fucking Vince, I believe is Vince Lanci, I believe is his name. Tom Luongo brought this up in one of the podcasts that he did, where Vince is basically eating his own hat because a few months ago Vince made a statement, and I remember listening to the podcast, and I was like, Vince is going to eat his words on this one. You know, it basically straight up said, like, well, you're not going to see a return of refinement, blah, 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 so on and so forth. You know, Trump's not going to be, you know, he's politically not going to want to do it, yada, yada. And then Trump fucking does it, like, day 2. Just strips out all the red tape and regulation in regards to refineries. And Tom's like, yeah, I was talking to Vince the other day, and he was like, yeah, well, I was wrong. And like Trump doesn't have anything to fucking lose. This is his second term. He can't run again.
Yep.
So he has nothing to fucking lose. So it's not like it fucking matters. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants at this point in time. Damn the political fucking outrage. Like look at fucking Twitter. Twitter is a perfect example. They're fucking losing their shit, and he's just like, sign this piece of paper, sign this piece of paper, sign this piece of paper. Ooh, rubber duck. Sign this piece of paper. Like, he doesn't give a damn.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's
yes. It's taken 40 or so years, but it seems Republicans have finally learned that you can just do things.
Well, no, and I will say this. This is not the Republican Party.
Sure.
This is the populist party.
Yes.
The Republicans have been gutted and fucking left out to dry. You know, you look at what's going on with people like Mitch McConnell, you know, fucking Lindsey Graham, et cetera, et cetera. All of these people have been left out to fucking dry. Well, okay, Lindsey Graham, bad example because Lindsay bent the knee and sold everybody else down the river to save his own money.
Something
So
he's
never
very
mind.
good at doing. Bending the knee and selling out everyone else.
Well, and more power to him. Good on you, bud. You saw the light and you understood the position you were in. I'm gonna give you credit where credit is due. You understood that you either fucking sold out Mitch and fucking got out from under Mitch before you fucking got buried. I am fully appreciative of Lindsey Graham's contributions to the movement. However, the dude can fucking get hung off a fucking underpass for all I care.
Yeah.
But no, the fact of the matter is that you have all of these people who think that this is the Republican Party. It's not the Republican Party. I have ran into so many quote unquote conservatives, which conservatives do not exist in the United States. I don't care who the fuck you are. I have ran into so many conservatives that are like, oh, the Republican Party this, Republican Party, and I'm like, no, this is not the Republican Party. It has not been the Republican Party for over a year. We started voting out the Republicans to make way for the actual populace who are actually going to do the work we want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, fuck you, have a nice day, take your conservatism, quote unquote, and shove it up your ass.
Yep.
Which, that's also the other thing, is like, at this point in time, like, anybody who's like, oh, I'm a conservative, I'm like, so you're a fucking do-nothing bitch? Like, that's just my opinion at this point. I'm like, no, I don't care what you have to say. Like, there's a reason why in my fucking bio on Twitter, it says, not a conservative. There's a reason. Do not associate me with your dumbass self. Fuck you. Which, honestly speaking, there are some nice people within the quote-unquote conservative movement, but you also realize really quickly, like, no, you're all fucking liberals. It's just whether or not you're a conservative liberal or a leftist liberal. Like, that's just what it is. And then you got people like me in the middle that are pointing guns in both ways, saying, now, we sit down and talk.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm actually six-legged M60 tank. I don't know.
For
All
those
right.
who might be listening, Stoner is telling us about his mechs in the chat. Apparently, one of them looks like a six-legged M60 tank, as well as bipedal tree harvesters, bipedal forklifts, and etc.
Huh. I like the fact that Stoner is like fully fleshing this idea out and whatnot, and it's actually quite good to see, and I do appreciate his ideas, and I do enjoy listening and hearing about his thing. Oh, speaking of fucking okay, so let's talk about media for a second, because so have you checked out the TV show Homestead yet?
No.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say it right fucking now. Don't fucking bother watching it. It is hot garbage. Like, honestly speaking, I was super hyped. Like, I was like, okay, this looks like it could potentially be good. The fucking acting is atrocious, and the fucking storytelling, like, it's decent, but it could use so much more refinement, because it is so fucking schizo, it's unfucking real. Like, it jumps around so hard. The pacing is fucking garbage. And mind you, like, they don't have a bunch of small time actors. Like, there's some big name actors, like Neil McDowell or Dono, however the fuck you say his last name, is in it. Like, one of my favorite actors, to be completely frank. Like, I do like the guy, even though politically speaking, I think he's a fucking retard. I do like the guy. I think he is a good actor. The guy who plays Jeff Erickson, I don't remember his fucking name off the top of my head, but I've seen him in plenty of stuff. I think he's a good actor. He does fit the military actor role very well, because he just has that air about him. and like there's a couple other minor actors, and I'm like, hey, I recognize you, I recognize you, I recognize you. Like I recognize a good chunk of these people, and I'm just like, who the fuck is the director of this movie? Because holy shit, I feel like I'm watching the prequels.
It's that bad.
And yeah. It's like, holy shit, George Lucas is directing this fucking shit because holy crap, it's just bad. And honestly speaking, like legitimately speaking, I think they did it a little wrong. They did a movie called Homestead. And then they have the TV series. It's an 8-part miniseries, basically, that they're doing as a continuation of the story. Which I'm like, okay, cool. That's a good way to structure this.
Right.
But the problem is the movie. So the movie is, you're introduced to the main characters literally as the disaster is going on. Like, as the main disaster that causes the collapse of the United States is happening, you're introduced to your main characters, and it's like, okay, we're not getting a good feel for who these people are, and then the way that things kind of just fall into place is really fucking random. So, like, for example, the dirty bomb, which I hate the fact they used a dirty bomb for this. I fucking hate the fact that they did that. Because if you know anything about dirty bombs, they're not actually effective in any way, shape, or form. The Israelis did massive testing of this back in the 60s and proved that dirty bombs are completely ineffectual. It's actually more of a waste to use dirty bombs than it is to just do a traditional IED campaign. Like, it's actually ineffectual. Like, that's how ineffectual it is. But, they have the whole dirty bomb, nuclear attack bullshit, yada fucking yada. And then the cyber attack, of course they use the Russians as the bad guys because, of course, the Russians have to be the bad guys and all media, blah, 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 so on and so forth, yada, 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 yada. But, so, when the main characters, it's literally like, okay, clearly the plan has been put into place. These people hired these people to do this, and so they are immediately going to head towards that location and so on and so forth. But then it's like, oh, we don't have any explanation of it. It's kind of just on the fly by the seat of your fucking pants. You don't really have a good idea of who and where they're going. And then, randomly this dude, you have all these special forces guys that are coming together to form this team that are supposed to provide security for this millionaire and his compound and so on and so forth. And it's like, okay, cool. You have a bunch of, you have the dude and his wife, his 2 kids, his foster kid. You have the random SF guys. None of the SF guys have families, apparently. Which is like, okay, I'm sorry, I know plenty of SF guys, all of them except for the younger one. So the one guy, and then the older dude. So there's 3 types of SF guys. You have the guys with families, and then you have the really young guys that haven't made families yet, and then you have the really old guys that never made families. And it's like you'll have 1 or 2 of those in a team. And that's it. But then all the other guys don't have families. And it's like, okay, why? What's going on here? It makes no fucking sense. These guys literally just showed up, drop of a hat. You don't really get an explanation of where they've been, what they've done, et cetera, et cetera. It seems all so forced that it's just like, no, I don't feel like this is not good storytelling by any fucking metric whatsoever. And then they show up at the millionaire's place. There's not a really good explanation of why he did what he did, why he built his compound, what he used to do, so on and so forth, what initiated him to even think of this plan. And then you get introduced to the millionaire's extended family via the wife's sister and her husband and her kids. And then you get, introduced to, just a bunch of random different things. you know, you have the town zoning guy who shows up and starts making a ruckus. The town SWAT team shows up to try to confiscate food and weapons and shit like that. Leads to this whole standoff. And it's just like, okay, I get it. It's supposed to be a disaster and it's supposed to be chaotic, but the storytelling needs to be fucking concise enough to actually make the chaos make sense in the terms of the story. This is not making sense by any stretch of the fucking imagination. And I'm just like, okay, this. Now, I will say this. Honestly speaking, I loved how the movie ended. It ended on this really good high, you know, feel good high note where, you know, the dude, the millionaire gets shot. He's put into a coma. He survives the gunshot, but he's in and out of his coma over the course of the story. And the wife has to basically take control and decides to open the gate to let all their friends in, and they start, you know, building up the infrastructure that they need in order to be able to have greenhouses and grow food over the winter and whatnot, because the supplies that they had on hand weren't going to last through the winter and stuff like that. It's like, okay, cool, great, awesome. I really, 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 really like this ending. That's cool. It gives you a good, you know, nice high note to end on. And then you roll into the TV series because the movie is, you know, the end of the movie just goes straight into the TV series. And almost immediately the millionaire's wife is losing control, and she's clashing with the security guys. And, you know, she calls in this random brother, which, okay, cool. The brother getting called in from off the side to come in and try to help stabilize things, that's cool, but it still feels so forced because it doesn't feel like there should be any actual conflict between, I refer to him as the sheriff, between the sheriff and the SF guys. In reality, these two would be pretty copacetic together because the sheriff guy, honestly speaking, and he seems like the character to do this, he would look at the SF guys and be like, look, you guys have the combat side of things. I'm going to have the policing side of things. This division between us is what is going to allow us to interface between your side of things and the civilian side of things. Like, there's so much better story building that could have gone into the TV show. And like, I can't recommend the TV show to fucking anybody because I'm like, no, it's not worth the money to fucking watch it. It really isn't. And it's sad because I was actually kind of hyped for it because I saw the clips for it and thought it was cool. Oh, by the way, there is a very like Christian religious tone to the TV show, or to the whole setting as well, because basically the foster kid that the SF guy has is she's very messianic in her character. She basically, you know, she refers to him as angel. She confers with the servants of God, and basically gets glimpses into what's happening and what's going to happen and so on and so forth. And then you have the two characters which are clearly meant to be the devil and angel on the shoulders of the SF leader. Because you have the one guy who is, you know, he's the, you know, balls to the wall, kick the door, fucking shoot the dudes kind of guy that just wants to fucking murk people. And then you have the other guy who is meant to, you know, clearly meant to be the angel, who is supposed to be the voice of reason and supposed to keep the SF leader on a good path rather than, you know, straying off and getting into murky waters and shit like that. But it's just like, I'm sorry, but like, these undertones are great. I love it. I think it fits the setting really fucking well. But holy shit, when the characters are as boring and as fucking undeveloped as they are, I don't give it. Like, honestly speaking, if I were in the situation of the SF leader, honestly speaking, I would have shot the one dude, the hard charger. I would have shot him in the face. I would have just fucking offed his ass, because it's like, okay, clearly you're a fucking problem. Like anybody with a decent, and maybe that's the whole point of that trio of characters is, you know, the SF leader is supposed to be the guy with the you know, wayward moral compass, and then you have the one dude with a really good moral compass and the other guy with a really bad moral compass. And maybe that's the whole dynamic that is supposed to be playing out, but it just, again, it feels so forced and just like I can't recommend the TV show fucking all. You honestly get a better read of that kind of shit and get a better story if you go watch SEAL Team. Like, honestly speaking, like, if you want a better story and better pacing and better fucking storytelling, go watch SEAL Team. And SEAL Team it's not bad, but it's not good either. Like, honestly speaking. Hey, Mitch, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Give me a moment. I gotta call in again, so just give me a moment.
No worries.
Actually, now that I say this, stop the recording because I do need to go do trucks. So I'm gonna be about 20 minutes.
All right, that's
so.
fine.